Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out the channel. Now, if you're new here and you like hardcover comic books, mangas, or movies, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button because that's all we do right here. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, we really appreciate the support and you already know what's up. You already know what to expect right here in the channel. Now, today, what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Border Worlds, written by Don Simpson. My OGs out there, they've been reading books for a minute. You know what I'm talking about. You probably read this before or you're familiar with it. Now, this was originally published by Kitchen Sink back in 1985. It was under the pages of this book called Megaton Man. Yeah, y'all key collectors, y'all know what I'm talking about. Megaton Man was the introduction of Rob Liefeld's art to the world for the first time, right? So he was the artist on that. It was very indie type of comics. They were black and white. And the thing about that comic is it was an anthology. It wasn't just Megaton Man. It had 3 series in one comic, and some issues I believe had 2 series. So meaning if the book was 30 pages, 10 were for one story, 10 for the other, 10 for the other. Now in those pages, in issue 6 through 10, you had Border Worlds as one of the backup stories in it. So that's why some people may not have heard about it because it wasn't on the cover, right? So this is an interesting book here, and the story is interesting itself about how Dover Publishing decided to reprint the whole series in one hardcover. For us hardcover collectors, we're introducing it to a new audience. I thought that was pretty cool. So it's not forgotten. And they reprinted the whole series, like I said, in one comic book back in 2017. I don't see any videos on it, so I thought, you know what, I drop a video and maybe introduce some of you to it and maybe win you over. It might be something you enjoy, especially if you're a fan of comic books. I mean, I don't mean a fan of reading them or a fan of the characters. I mean just of comic books in general. You'll really appreciate what this book brings. If you collected back in the days, you're familiar with the story somewhat, and you kind of know what I'm talking about. This feels like if you were back in high school still drawing, had art class, and you're trying to figure out how to draw a comic book and so forth. This has that type of feel. It's very raw and uncut. Now let's get into the book itself. Let's take an overview and talk about it a little. Okay, so here we get a better look at the book. Nice big writing here, Don Simpson. I like that you get the title, pretty big letters, Border Worlds, but yet his name is still big enough where it doesn't interfere with the title, but it's there and you give credit where credit's due, right? Look at the cover, it's all dark. Here's our main character. Here's the spine. Border Worlds, again, here's the character, then his Dover Press. Let me move it more to the side. It says here Border Worlds, then here's the main character, and the writer's name, Simpson. Here's the publisher, Dover Press. Here's the back. Now the back, I like the cover, but it gives you no info. Doesn't tell you what issues or what's included in here, right? Which I know that can be tricky because it was in an anthology. So it would say like Megaton Man instead of Border Worlds. It can get a little confusing. So I see why they went that route. Now this is the dust jacket. Let's get to the dust jacket a little bit before we talk about the rest of the book. Look at that whole picture there. Here you get Donald Simpson himself. Talks a little bit here. The creator of the satirical superhero series Megaton Man and Bizarre Heroes, a 37 issue universe. So that lasted 37 issues, the whole publishing and whatnot. And has completed a new graphic novel, Megaton Man, Return to Megatropolis. He also created the classic underground comics Wendy Whitebread. Okay, so you can read the rest later. Here you have the publishing and so forth. I really like what they do here. It's all black and then you have the character there. It almost gives me a feel like the Alien comics or the Alien movies. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now here it says, with her life in chaos and nothing left to lose, Jenny Woodlore joins her brother's ramshackle trucking business. Okay, so that's basically the what you need to know right there. This is the dust jacket. Now here's the book itself. It's all like a matte finish, foil embossed letters, Border Worlds, Don Simpson. Here's the spine. Again, foil letters, really pop, really stand out. If you're a Raider fan, you're gonna love that. You know, silver and black, and then just all black in the background. Now in the beginning of the book, you're gonna get all the covers, so that's pretty cool. They're in black and white though, but that's all gravy. You know that you still get them right here. Especially when it's a smaller publisher like this, you cut them more slack. They don't have to be perfect because you know they are on budgets. This book, I'm pretty sure they didn't go into it thinking we're gonna make a ton of money off this book, right? This is just to keep the material alive and going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really to try to make money off it. Now here's the other covers. Here, get this one in black and white. Dover Publications from New York. Don Simpson with an afterword by Stephen Bissette. Nice thick pages too. Have not read this after forward or whatever they called it. Have not read this part yet, but I have read some of the material. Now it goes 335 pages. And you know what? I didn't even tell you the price. $30. $30 for 335 pages. You might even find it a little cheaper online and so forth. Now look at this. The first issue, it's in color. Love it. Oh, again, I wish it was all in color. But hey, the rest of it's in black and white. It's totally fine with me. You might even prefer the art in black and white because that's how it originally was. Here we get the character. She's going over here in this ship where her brother has this thing like Han Solo. He has the Millennium Falcon. It's like a trucking service, but it's a spaceship. She goes with him, and he's in all kinds of bad situations. She goes sideways real quick, right? Here she is. She's fighting with him over an inheritance, right? So they're fighting over who deserves what money, and as they start fighting over this, they start working together for the shipping company because the only way to get the money. I don't want to give too much of the story away, but it's basically a sci-fi type of story, and it's like it's more Star Trek than it is Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be a bunch of epic fight scenes and so forth. It's more like if it was a Han Solo story or Star Trek, where it's a more realistic take. Like, what if we gravity was different, we lived on other planets and so forth. Now here's a two-page spread. You do get some gutter loss because the binding is a bit tight, and the pages are thick, so you definitely ain't gonna see through the pages. Like, some books have thin pages. When you hold the page like this, you could see from right here, you could see what's on the other side of the picture. You're not gonna have that issue with these. They're very thick. I know a lot of the indies, they do thick pages because they think like, oh, the reader will appreciate that and so forth. But sometimes they work against you when because they don't stay open, right? They close like that. You see? But that's okay. The intention was there. They meant to do good. Here's another two-page spread. Some nice art. I really like it. It has a real indie feel to it. Like, there's no editing, no stuff like that. This was now we get into the black and white pages. This was very much Don Simpson wanting to have this material back out there for the world. I don't think he did it with the intention of having a movie made or making a lot of money. Although this would be a kind of fun movie. This is her right here, main character. A lot of two-page spreads here, a lot more than I thought. Look at this. Look, she's looking all hot right here. Ready to hit that club. All right, all right. Okay, I'm not gonna flip through every page because it is quite a chunky bit of material. So yeah, guys, if you like this type of stuff, it's not big mainstream. You get all one self-contained story in one book. You might want to give this a try. I see no talk about it. I enjoyed it when I actually, you know what? When I first bought it, I read it and I didn't finish the book though. It's not. Look at the binding. It's glue, so you are gonna get a little bit of gutter loss, but it's fine. It's pretty cool that they made this in a hardcover. because this is material that could easily have just been long forgotten, except for the key issue collectors, the back issue collectors. They'll still maybe have this in their arsenal, but other people will, never be introduced to this, especially since it was not on the cover of the comics themselves. It was an anthology. It was in the inside. A lot of people, they'll slip right through their radar. So yeah, guys, check out this from Dover Publishing. $30 for 330 pages. It's well worth it. Again, online you probably find it for around 20 or 15. Worth every penny for the material you get, and it's a breath of fresh air. You get something different from your superhero Marvel DC stuff, right? Hopefully, I brought something of value in this video. This help you make an informative decision if it's something that you might consider buying based on this video. If you have any other questions about it, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. Other than that, I'd like to just thank you guys for taking some time out of your day, checking out the video. If you liked it, hopefully you hit that like button, and I'll just check you guys out next time.